How to buy a house with seller financing. Welcome back. Now, in this episode, I'm going to answer your question, how to buy a house with seller financing. Now, this is a way to make some money for both you and the people you sell to. This is really a good part of the business that every one of you are going to like. It's something that everyone should learn. Once you've learned this, you can do this for the rest of your life. Now, my name is Ted Thomas. I've been involved in this business for 30 years. I started as an investor and slowly transitioned. I kept my investments going, but I slowly became a coach and a guide and someone to help you learn how to do this. I've been doing this for a long time. Tax liens and tax deeds. So it's a tough market sometime, and when you want to go to sell, you need to know about seller financing. I teach my students right away about seller financing because it's a chance for you to make money right now in addition to making money with the tax liens and tax deeds. Now, everyone wants a deal in real estate, especially when the prices are going up. Everyone's pretty darn excited about it. But when the prices go down or the market is in recession, wow, it's a real problem. As a matter of fact, in many cases, when a recession starts, the banks call in all their credit lines and they don't want to finance properties at all. So this is the way that you can get around all that. And I'm going to show you a step-by-step process. Now, before I finish, at the end of the video, I have a gift for you that will teach you how to make profits with tax lien certificates and how to make big money with tax defaulted properties. I'm going to take a short break right now, and I'll be right back. Now, this is an exceptional way to make money. A lot of people don't know it, and they don't understand it. Now, if you have an IRA account or a Roth IRA, you're going to want to put it to work doing exactly what we're going to talk about. Now, you don't understand the benefits right away, but there's a lot of benefits that you're going to accrue by watching this particular video. You're going to see how to make money at tax defaulted auctions and then how to use seller financing to sell a house and to sell the property and make extra money. All right. Now, everything I'm going to teach you is honorable and it's ethical. Okay. Once you understand, believe me, you're going to want to be involved in this on a long-term basis. All right. Now, there's bankers out there and they sometimes are struggling to make any loan because the federal government shuts down the money supply. When that happens, the people that want to move, they can't move. So now what is a seller going to do? They can't move their real estate. They're stuck with it. So they're going to be open to seller financing. So people that aren't in our business and getting rock bottom deals like we do at the tax defaulted auction, they're going to want to try and get properties that people still want to buy, people still want to sell. So seller financing really comes alive in the difficult markets. So as you learn this, you're really going to do a CYA. You're going to be able to buy properties at a tax defaulted auction, have no trouble selling them because you're willing to provide financing. All right, now there's millions of people out there that want to change their location. They would get a divorce or they find a new job. They can't sell. So those people are open to seller financing. Some people just want to make a change in the scenery. They want to move to the coast and they've been up in the mountains or whatever. They can't sell their property unless they do something about finding a way to finance it. Well, if the banks shut down, folks, and they do every few years, when we go into a recession, well, why don't the sellers become bankers? A lot of them don't know to do that. So if you happen to be a buyer, well, then you need to start approaching people and say, will you do seller financing? And you'll find out those sellers that own those properties that they can't sell, they get very flexible, okay? Now, you know the building won't move. I know it won't move, but sometimes the seller's stuck and they just say, no, they're not going to do that. They're going to wait for the market to change. Well, that's okay. You can't change those people. But the people that want to move, they're going to get very flexible when it comes to seller financing. Now, sellers want to sell the building, so they'll do it. You're going to be a buyer at auctions. You're going to want to learn to be able to sell these quickly. So what we do is we buy them low at the auction, and then we try to sell them not for the top dollar, but a lower price. So we buy low, we sell low, and we do it fast. And whenever possible, we try to do installment sales. Why? Because not only do we make the profit on the original sale, but we make continuous profits as long as the financing lasts. All right, so if you're being the financer, well, you're being the bank, well, you're not only just doing the work once, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to get paid multiple times, like for 120 payments over 10 years. All right, the markets won't wait for a seller. What happens is the seller's sitting there and they're waiting for the market and they're waiting for it. You might have to wait 5 years before they open the market back up. So if you're a seller, you need to start thinking about how you're going to sell it and how you're going to be able to carry that note and be a installment collector on it. Okay, but most people want to be on the other side. They want to be a buyer, and the buyers are desperate. And a lot of buyers have credit problems. What kind of problems? Divorce, bankruptcy, bad credit history. They can't buy anything. All right, what are they going to do? They still want good properties. What kind of properties they want? They want B and B plus. They don't want any clunkers. They want nice properties. All right, now some sellers, given the market situation where they can't sell, what do? They tell the new buyer, yes, I'll sell to you. You'll have to pay me extra money on the down payment each month. In other words, increase the down payment until you have your down payment high enough so I feel good and I'm not worried about my investment. All right, sellers are afraid they're not going to get paid. If you don't get paid and you're sold it the right way with a contract, not with a mortgage, you will get paid. If you don't get paid, you'll just get your property back. How bad could that be? Whatever they've invested, they're just going to lose their money. That's not your fault. That's their fault. All right, so savvy sellers will learn to be flexible and make the terms good for buyers. All right, now let's not confuse the two. I don't know what you are, but if you're a buyer, don't be afraid if there's no financing available. You need to start approaching sellers, making offers that you'll buy, but you want to have payments. Ask them to give you installment payments. If you're a seller, why not offer installments? And you'll gather a lot of people. At least 25% of the market cannot get financing even in the good times. All right, so it works for sellers and it works for buyers. I hope you're getting the idea of what I'm talking about. All right, so let's take a short pause. The point is, flexibility matters. Why does it matter? If you're a seller, you need to be flexible. Are you willing to take payments? Now, I know what you're afraid of. You're afraid of that the down payment won't cover. So you just tell the new buyer, yes, if you'll make a down payment of X and then increase not only your payment, but make extra payments to keep increasing your down payment, I'll do that because you want to get extra money. Your security is the down payment. Your security is your property because when you sell the property, you sell it on a contract. The contract does not give them a deed to the property. So sellers are protected. Now, if you're on the other side and you're a buyer, what you want as a buyer is you want the biggest and best house you can get for the least money possible. So what you want to do is you want to offer a low down payment and you want extended terms, or you might even want a balloon payment later. Now, I can't explain each one of those in this short video, but I sure can tell you that within the channel, you'll be able to find extended down payments, installments, balloon payments. All of that will be covered in the channel. Can't get it all right now because we've got to finish this particular video. All right, so let me give you an example of someone just getting started as an investor. Now, people that start as investors, they like to start small. Even though they have money, they want to start small because they're afraid to make mistakes. So we teach people how to do this. They have coaches, they have guides, they have facilitators, and we teach them step by step how to do this. So this couple, we're going to call them M and S. They find a property in Michigan at one of the Michigan auctions. Now, those auctions take place in every county in Michigan throughout the year, but most of them are during the summer months. So they find a property, looks like it's valued, according to the tax assessor, at about $55,000. So they go to the auction, and sure enough, they buy it for less than $8,000. But let's use 8,000 as their number so the math is easy today. So sure enough, they buy it for 8,000. Then they get in close, they look at it, oh, it has to be cleaned up a little, tidied up, a little touch-up paint. So they spend another $4,000. So now we went 8 and 4, we're at $12,000. So we teach people to buy it low and sell it low. So they bought it for 8,000, add 4, they're in 12, and it's worth 55. So they've got plenty of room here. So they advertise with signs. They put it on Craigslist. They put it on Facebook Marketplace. They put it on eBay. All of those are cost pennies. And now they put a big sign on it. And they also put in their sign and their advertising, they'll accept an installment sale. All right. So the first offer they get is for $35,000. Well, that's considerably below the retail. However, if they sell for 35 and they only paid 12, they make $23,000 in profit. Now think about that. Now they did all this in the month of November and December. Now, I know the brokers will tell you, and everybody in the real estate business will tell you, you can't do any work in November, December. After all, that's Thanksgiving and Christmas. They sold the property for $35,000, made themselves $23,000, but they didn't stop there. They didn't stop because they did an installment sale. So what's our episode about today? How to buy a house with seller financing. Well, the same way you do it when you're selling. So they're going to sell the property with seller finance. So they're going to allow the buyer to give them, round numbers, this isn't exact, $450 a month on an installment sale for the next 120 months. Folks, that's 10 years. So 10 years, every month they'll get, round numbers, $450. Now that's about $5,000 a year. You can pencil it out as well as I can. They're going to get over $50,000 for a $12,000 investment. Now, I don't know if you got all the math, but I'll do it again. They invested $12,000. They took payments for 10 years. They're going to get over $50,000. Call it $52,000 or $54,000. They're going to make a $40,000 profit. Every one of you would like to make a $40,000 profit. Okay, I'm almost ready to finish it up, but I want you to understand sellers can be flexible and sell with installment sales. Buyers can be flexible. What we're doing, if we're buying at auctions, we're buying properties that are slightly used and abused. We're not buying junk. Okay, who wants those properties? There's plenty of people that want them. Everybody doesn't live in the country club. Plenty of people that want those. The banks don't want to finance those properties. Perfect opportunity for us to make more money. So we make it on the sale and we make it on the financing. Where are you going to get, if you do the math on what I've just told you, these people are making a 40% annualized rate of return. Their ROI is 40% annually. You tell me when the banks are paying 1% ROI, where you're going to make 40% ROI. This is the deal of a century. Now I'm going to close by answering two questions. What happens when I buy the tax lien certificate? Do I get to take it home? Well, if you want to hang around and wait for them to type it up, you might have to wait a few days because sometimes they have 30 or 40,000 certificates to sell. If you buy offline, yes, you can get a certificate and take it home. If you buy online, they'll just deliver a certificate online and they'll deliver all your payments online. The tax lien certificate's transferable. Yes, you could have a husband and wife could transfer it to a child, or you could transfer it to anybody you want. It's okay to transfer tax lien certificates. Okay, it's time for me to button it up. But when I finish, there's going to be a free gift for you below, so be sure and take advantage of that. But I told you I'd talk about two mistakes. Now, the two mistakes happen at auctions. Number one mistake is people do not look at the property before they buy. So you don't want to make that mistake. You do not want to do that. If you're a woman, you know you wouldn't marry the guy without seeing him. Well, don't buy a house unless you've seen it. I don't know whether it burned down. I don't know if there was a hurricane. I don't know if there was a flood. I don't know if it's situated next to a chicken farm. So you want to make sure that you've looked at the property. The second thing you want to be careful of is you don't want to get at the auction and start bidding without having an exit strategy. So people do this all the time, and they bid, and they win, except they have bid too much money. So I'm Ted Thomas. I'll see you next time.